Shefsky here, and welcome to Fantasy House. Every week we have a different special guest, a friend of mine, come on and take us on an imaginary journey through their surreal, trippy fantasy house. It's so much fun. It's an exercise of imagination for adults. It's the world's only not safe for work real estate podcast. That's a pretty fun thing to do, right? You ever listen to real estate podcasts? I know I do. And I'm like, nobody even says the word schmuck. Not on Fantasy House. Oh, we go every direction. That's right. The weird bathrooms, the weird bedrooms, all the interesting stuff. We don't hold any bars back, if that's what they call it. If that's what they say. No holds barred. This podcast is brought to you by me, Jon Shefsky. If you are in Southern California, I'm the only real estate agent here, so I would love to help you. You're going to need me. Hit me up. Send me a email or at fantasyhousepodcast@gmail.com, or just go to my Instagram. Go to the Fantasy House Instagram, or go to the Jon Shefsky, JONSHEFSKY. Why? Because I'd love to be of service. If you're thinking about buying houses, selling houses, if you want to know about multifamily apartment buildings, anything fun like that, those are my passions, and I'd love to be of service. Hit me up. Today's episode, super stoked about it. One of my good friends for a long time, for years and years and years. We've been through a lot together. We've made art together, and we're continuing that tradition by making an episode of Fantasy House together. He's a great dude, awesome comic, awesome dude. Andrew Themeles, super stoked. All right, guys. Now, in the words of the great Angelo Bowers, let us do this.
Won't you take a moment and tell the tune of your fantasy house? You're the host with the most experience in your fantasy house. You don't need money for expensive construction. The only limit is your imagination.
Did you hear the Apple sound?
Is that Apple?
Yeah. I love they used it in Wall-E.
That's right.
It always makes me think of the beginning of the I know that, like that
Spandau Ballet.
Okay, that song, that note, the is like what do you call it? Like the main note from that song. So
yeah,
every time you turn on an Apple, I think of that song.
Sorry, you said tell us about yourself. You just want me to start talking?
Oh yeah, who are you, dude?
Oh well, John, you certainly know my name is Andrew.
It's not for me; it's for listeners. I'm all asking you. It's like, well, I have a very bad memory. Who are you? What are we doing?
I'm so bad at candid shit. All right,
just riff with me, dog.
My name is Andrew Themeles, and I am friends with the host of this show, and I have been for coming up on a decade now.
Crazy how time flies.
I like to write. I like to play guitar.
Yeah.
I produce a podcast. I'm on them less than I produce them.
You're behind the scenes kind of guy.
You know,
but
only because I gotta be, really. You know?
I know. I was going to say, because you love being in front of the camera. You love being like on stage. You're good at all that stuff.
But you just gotta. Sometimes you just gotta get the dirty stuff done because nobody else will.
Does it feel like that sometimes? Like, all right, give me a shovel since no one's going to.
Well,
finish
I've always
digging.
had the attitude, well, if I don't do it, nobody's gonna. Like, I thought that, like, in terms of throwing parties in college. I mean, I'm not even joking. It started, I think, if you want to go way back, I'm the youngest of two. Yeah. I think the younger of the sibling is more like, pulling on the coattail, like, hey, let's do this. Like, always trying to get my brother to do shit. And he would when he wanted to, because he was the older one. So there's a lot of watching him play video games, Yeah. Yeah. So then when it got to high school and, it was time to like hang, like, I was directing traffic, Nobody had fucking cell phones. So it was just a lot of, hey, we're going to meet at the movies at 7:00. Or not even that. It was, can your parents drive to the movies or home?
You became the captain of the ship a lot because
I appreciate you using the word captain wholeheartedly, man.
It's that's what it feels like. It's like every ship needs a captain. You got to have somebody.
No, yeah, absolutely, dude. And anybody can be the captain of any ship. You don't even really need a ship. You just need a dinghy,
That's right.
And what's a dinghy? Dinghy's a spark of hope in this metaphor, I think.
Dinghy. I hope they add that to the dictionary.
I'm pretty sure dinghy's in the dictionary.
No,
it's
but
a nautical
as a
term.
spark of hope. Like I would like that as like the third definition, third line down.
All right.
What's up? What's been going on? What is your excitement shit that's been getting out of bed right now?
What am I excited? Listen, every day I'm excited to get out of bed.
That is not a fair answer. I need something specific.
No, and I'm being honest, and I'm going to segue this into something that can actually be talked about and listened to in an interesting manner.
Okay.
I thought about I moved.
Okay.
I moved a few weeks ago out of a space that was my dream space in terms of a working space, not the fantasy house.
Is this the last apartment that I've been to that you lived
Correct.
at? Oh yeah, that was a great apartment.
And it's not this lavish apartment, but it was nice. I got to, and we're going to get into the house stuff. I mean, this is the podcast to do so.
Yeah.
It was the same landlord I had at my prior place. So when I was looking for a place, I said, "You got anything?" He said, "Yes." He took me to the place. He knew that I was a neat freak. I keep my shit clean. It's
Yeah.
going to look the same way when I move out.
I'm sure your landlord loved you.
He said, I said, "What color are you going to paint the walls?" He said, "What color do you want me to paint the walls?" I said, "Now we're talking." I said, "What do you do about these floors?" He's like, "I was probably going to put in carpet, but maybe a hardwood floor." I go, "Let's talk about these hardwood floors." Next thing you know, I'm picking out walls and floors, and I'm living in the dream. I got dark fake wood, which is better than real wood. I got
durable.
I got real wood floors now. And they always got to shellac them, and they go every time somebody moves in, they got to coat them and stuff. These things, man, smooth. Swiffer, you see every fucking. I knew anytime somebody violated my floor with some footprint or some shit, I could see it and I could handle it.
And you're good with putting a rug down too. You have that.
I had a few nice rugs.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm good at creating a space, and that comes from dorm room. That comes from the dorm room strategy of trying to make 52 square feet. Turn if that.
Yeah.
If not even 50. What am I talking about? 52.
Your little nunnery.
You're the real estate agent. What's this right here? What's this room?
Oh, it's probably 100 square feet.
This is 100 square feet?
Probably.
Okay. All right. I'll give all right. So maybe 50 for a dorm. 75. This is still pretty fun. Anyways, my point is you're trying to figure out how to make a TV, 2 beds, and a carpet look like something a few co-eds might want to get in the mood, within like a nose shot of a microwave with like some Easy Mac and plastic bowls sitting on top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to make a space look nice, which I brought with me. So this last apartment that I was in that I loved, it was I had the light came in, right? The sun comes up in the east.
Yep.
Allegedly.
No, it's not just allegedly. It really does. It really does.
All right. Well,
it's an objective statement. It totally does.
It's crazy days. I don't want to get in trouble. And so all day the sun would just swing around and then it would set. And as I'm sitting at my desk, I look out my door. I just see the sun coming through some palm trees, landing. Just a beautiful day. So every day I woke up happy. Get out of bed, swing open that door, warm all day.
Did you tell your landlord? I mean, I don't know if you had the
Please.
option. Did you say like, "Hey, can I?" Like, it's important to me that my apartment's facing this angle because I think a lot of people think about it.
Well,
in
he
hindsight
didn't build it
after
as we were negotiating.
No, of course not. But no, you can't ask him to change the building. But you go like, "Hey, where's my front door facing? Where are my windows?" Because that does make a difference.
Man, I just know when I was moving out of my other place and I just needed a spot.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was between that and living near LACMA, which I thought would be a change of scenery. It also a change of parking and a change of stress.
I lived right by LACMA. Yeah, totally. It's
a no. I mean, look
great
good
area,
look
but
good
also
on you. Yeah, no.
Thank you. It was fun. You're only an idiot with the by. Well, I live by LACMA. Like only a total.
Well, you know
dipshit.
me, man. I just like my hood. It's spread out, and it just says nobody lives there, which I love. Like I'm in families and shit. But anyway, so that apartment, I loved it. I was just from the time drove out to LA from 26, always wanted just that spot where you're just playing music, shoot stuff, whatever. Then I had the roommate because, who can afford that shit right out of the gate?
Yep.
Had the roommate, great spot, great time. We shot stuff there. Legendary spot, right?
Great times.
But then when I moved out of there, I had my own spot. And it was just the greatest thing ever. When I moved out, I figured, all right, I'm just going to set this up again somewhere else. And I was devastated to leave the apartment. So moving with my girlfriend, 4 streets away from that apartment. 2 stories. We both work from home. She's in her spot doing her thing. I'm doing my thing downstairs.
Beautiful.
First week, I'm trying to move my stuff, set it up. No, don't say beautiful. There's a turn here. There's an act 2.
Oh shit!
This is act 1.
Well, as the audience, I'm just starting to get comfy, which is when
I
you turn
appreciate
it on
it.
me.
That's
so I say
right.
beautiful,
That's
and
right.
you're like, but wait.
And I said that as
for
to,
long.
and this is me just saying this ain't a movie. This is television. This is the we'll be right back. I'm wasting time, and now we're back. So I'm moving stuff around like this. The acoustics in that area that I was going to set up downstairs, that should have been like the dining room. You know what? Couldn't do it, man. I was depressed. Talk about space. Waking up every day, feeling what's getting you excited.
Yeah,
every day I'm excited. So my answer is every day I'm excited to wake up, because a few days later I called up my landlord and I was like, "You didn't rent the apartment, did you?" "No," and I kept it. And so I moved my shit back into that apartment. And I used to say all the time, even if I moved out, I'd keep this as an office because I just feel good working here.
Yeah.
And I get so much stuff done. And that's what I ended up doing.
So you have your apartment with your girlfriend, which congratulations on that.
Thank you very
Big
much.
Steps. But you also kept your old one.
God damn right I did.
That's brilliant.
And now I'm walking. I wake up. I walk 4 streets over. And I'm just, it's like...
And your landlord loves you even more. He's like, this guy, he's just renting all my apartments.
Well, no,
I
because
love him.
the one with my girl, that's a different landlord. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well, he's like, thank you for
But my landlord is like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Listen, yeah, I'm going to figure this out. We're going to do this.
That's great.
Needs to be done."
I love that about you too. That you do have that kind of like, I'll figure it out. It's all good. Even if there's a lot going on inside your head from the outside, I'm like, well, Themeles has got this. He's got it all figured
See,
out.
now, I got to tell you, I appreciate that, but also I've heard that a lot. And sometimes that's just like...
That's part of your captainness, where it's just like, captain's got it, but we're
then,
cool.
Right, but then there's times when people don't think like, hey, like, why don't we get Themeles? Because it's like, oh, Themeles is all set, right? Like, I know people who like complain about never having shit going on, even though they do. And people like book them.
Oh, we know
hire
people
them.
like that for sure.
Yeah.
My life's falling apart. You're like,
no,
oh
it's
man,
not.
come open for me this weekend. You're like, oh, that's how it works, huh? But if you're like, no, I got this. I'll be fine. Thank you.
No, but by the way, I don't even mean that in a like, oh,
Yeah.
I like want handouts or anything like that. I'm just saying in like, or like, oh, Andrew needs to be thought of. What I'm saying is it's interesting because it is because you become that. You know what I mean?
Themeles, listen. Say no more. This episode is a commercial. It's dedicated. Hire Andrew Themeles. He's
No, not
amazing.
at all. There's no you. What would you even hire me
I'm
for?
just teasing you.
I know.
Let me be sarcastic.
I know.
For a
I know.
split second. Captain, let the skipper just make a joke for once.
It's just hard to be serious with Tom Berenger looking down on you.
So our listeners know
we're
we're
in war paint. We're sitting under a poster from the movie Sniper.
Movie Sniper. We're
Tagline: "One shot, one kill." Which
at
very
Tigheland
efficient man.
Studios. You know, it's an editing studio.
Beautiful studio.
That's great.
So, yeah, man, I love my space. I love being able to. I love.
So what do you do? What's your routine? Do you just wake up and go like, I'm going to the office, and you go to your old apartment?
Yeah. Yeah, I moved all my shit back over there. Just the stuff I needed.
Yeah,
all
you're
my music stuff. Now I got storage space. I got a buddy who might, want to rent out a little corner as an editing bay.
So cool.
Offset it a little bit, but hey, that's what being an adult is.
That's awesome.
Could be paying for daycare, right?
I know someone who's doing
I kind
that.
of think about. I have to. Now I got to. That's how sometimes I think about it. I'm like, didn't want this expense, but
That's
gotta
life,
wake
dude.
up every day feeling good, John.
That's good, man. Tell me this. What's the geographic
Location for my fantasy house? All right. I'm not sure if traditionally people, their houses are... And I understand that there could be certain mythical things about them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Are you talking about like your fantasy house being mythical? Yeah. It can be surreal, and
It's not mythical. Like there's no griffins.
you can have all that kind of stuff. You can have mathical too. You can have a lot of chalkboards with equations on it. That was a dad joke that I will not stop doing. But no, dude, you can do anything you want. So it can be as wild and trippy.
Right. So the location is actually not important. And
Okay.
and to start off, I've always kind of known what my dream house would be.
Yeah.
Because it's more about the mystery of my house is actually what's exciting. So I've known this for a while. I want a house. I'll talk about the grounds at the end. Because doing what we do, stories and whatnot,
Yeah.
enjoying a setup and a punch. I think the grounds at the end perhaps would be something that I could stop. Like I'm the type of person. I'm not the type of person that if there's a pie, if I'm just sitting and watching a movie and there's an apple pie, I'm going to destroy the entire pie. What would I say of it? But there's certain things I can leave that there
Yeah.
and not touch it. And
You're saying you will eat the entire pie.
I would eat the entire
me
pie.
too.
But I'm also patient.
Pint of ice cream if
but,
it's good?
But in other
Go on.
ways, I'm patient. I'm like, okay, I could sit around 30 pies, you know.
Oh, yeah, you got skills.
No, but this is the way. I would be very patient about getting to the ground. So this is the end. All right. So here's my dream.
What kind of pies were they, by the way? Just out of curiosity.
In my thing, my favorite pie is blueberry, but I pictured an apple. I think just out of pop culture.
It's pop
right?
culture, right?
There it is.
Michael Jackson, dingy, apple pie. But
All right.
I'm just trying to tie it all together. But
Yeah, that was perfect. That was perfect.
okay.
I didn't know where to go. It was perfect.
Okay.
So you want me to start on this house?
Oh yeah. Please start on it like I'm asking the contractor. Like, are you almost done?
Okay.
Start on the house. Build it. We will come.
I want a house
Me and the listeners will come.
designed. I don't care about the outside of the house. I want a house designed by, ideally, thousands of people.
Interesting. Go on.
Are you ready?
Explain.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is what I need. I need a place that I can walk into and not know where every room is. Right? Because this isn't Variety, the spice of life. Didn't somebody say that once?
And Variety is a sister to Mystery, right? So you got a little bit of mystery.
I did not know the
it's a
family
cousin.
extended
It's a
so
cousin.
far.
It's a cousin.
That's exciting. That's exciting. Power. See, there's a powerful family behind everything. There was a show on Nickelodeon where it was kind of like it was before it was Legends of the Hidden Temple. You know when they like run through different rooms and shit. There were
Are you
different
talking
shows.
about? Okay, so there was Dare. No, it was a
Double Dare, no.
There was.
I had to look it up recently. It's not a very popular show.
Is it you can't do that on television?
No. Well, these shows were like, okay, so this is what a terrible. I shouldn't have.
No, this
put
is
that
awesome.
example
I'm
up.
so excited by it just because I'm a Nickelodeon.
I know the name
kid,
of the
so-
show. I looked it up. There was like, okay, you can go through these because Legends of the Hidden Temple. You had to go. It was sideways. Like you were watching half a house, right? They'd go up and up, down and over.
which I absolutely love. I mean, it's
So
kind
that's-
of the
that's the
inspiration for the show. Is the
inspiration.
side cut where you're just like,
Right.
whoa, cut
and
away.
there was a show that preceded that.
Okay.
And there was like Alibaba's bathtub. That was one of the rooms. I know. I
need
had to
see
look it
this.
up recently.
Send
I
me
know.
links,
I
please.
know, I'm sorry.
Okay, keep going.
So that's the inspiration.
Okay.
But I want to go, right? The childhood inspiration of a house is that you don't know what's around the corner, right? You go, ooh, what's in this
Mystery,
house?
adventure.
Mystery, right?
Yeah.
So I use the number. I started with 3,000, and but now knowing that the hinges are off, and then we can do whatever we want on this podcast, maybe 5,000. But if I have to get outdoors, we'll go 3,000. I want 3,000 rooms.
Okay.
I want 3,000 different rooms.
Okay.
I want all these rooms to be designed by different people, right? Think about an old furniture store. I'm all over the place. You walk from one room into the next,
Yeah.
it's like a whole different room.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to talk about
the
IKEA.
smells,
I-
the
this
textures.
precedes
You're talking about
IKEA.
like an antique old furniture store.
Old, yeah, the kind where like they'd fill up like a it'd be an old warehouse, that'd be the new furniture store.
And you get
go
excited when there's like a
upstairs,
stairway that says like, oh, there's more up there. I
and
can
you
go
go
see
around,
more.
and there's like a whole room.
Yeah.
And it's just like this weird, like, especially as a kid, everything's just weird. So you just walk through one of these, it's crazy. That's why Disneyland's amazing, right? All you need stuff is just to be a little surreal.
Yep. Oh yeah.
If Detroit wants to come back, I mean, it's coming back a little bit, but it's not really back. If Detroit really wants to come back, what they should be doing is they should be buying overflow movie props and sets and just strapping it to the sides of buildings. Who would move to Detroit then? It's
like a giant TGI Fridays of a city.
We can either freeze our ass off in Minneapolis or we can freeze our ass off in Detroit. And guess what? It looks like the town hall's the leftover from goddamn Dr. Seuss movie.
Yeah, totally.
That's it.
Totally. It's
Some
like
pastels, some loop-de-loops. That's it. That's all you need. People to be excited and just to wake up.
then
right?
maybe population will start regenerating there. It's still on the decline.
The population of Detroit's declining.
Slowly.
Yeah, but where are those
Not-
numbers coming from? People who have stayed?
I think
So is it-
departmentofnumbers.com.
So You would have. I feel like I think the only way to do that. I bought that. I was just in.
No, it's true. It's actually
okay.
it's a real website.
Oh, all right.
It's a real website that gets used by a lot of people in the multifamily.
You would have to only measure that by like the fourth generation of. It'd have to be like 4 generations back.
Sure.
They were always in Detroit, and then this person left. Because otherwise, it'd be like, well, they left.
Well,
so obviously, nobody's banging.
Okay, so I get. No, people are banging, and then they're moving. They're like, all right, we had a kid. Now let's get out of Detroit.
All right.
Let's go to Indianapolis. Okay, so there's tons of room in mystery. Now, like, walk us through. Like, where are we going? Like, if we.
I know. So this is what I need. I don't want one of those. It's like one of those lame ass bars where you walk through the fridge to get to the bar. It's just like I get it. Okay.
Good times at Davies.
Is that one?
Yeah, dude.
Jackasses.
Oh, dude, some of those bars, they're for single people that have a lot of expendable money.
Dude, I had a good time there once.
Yeah, no,
I had a good time there once. I'm not trashing it.
Dude, as soon as the alcohol hits, as soon as the whiskey gets down my esophagus, I'm having fun.
I don't mind that one. It was the one where the girl. I went for like a birthday party and
the girl on the bed.
No, you walk
in the lingerie or whatever.
No, what the fuck are you talking about?
The same group. Okay, they're like promoters. Like they have their theme and their brand. The same group that has Good Times at Davy Wayne's. Which, if you're listening to this and you're like, what the hell are these guys talking about? We're talking about these bars in LA that get basically they give them
like a
theme, and
theme.
they turn them into themes, and they become this whole event, this whole experience to go to. And for me, my annoyed ass, I go to them, and I'm like, all right, I just want a drink, and like there's a long line, and like like it's more of a pain in the ass than it is.
Yeah, I went to one where like I had to stand in front of a snack machine. She's like, "Do you want a snack?" I was like, "No," and she's like, "Okay, walk this way." And like, are you here for this birthday party? And I showed up alone. So I'm walking down this hallway and then I had to walk through the candy machine. And then I walk in and then I ended up leaving because I didn't see anybody from the party. But it turned out they were, this was called Break Room, but they were in like a separate room off of this place. Dude, I literally looked around, heard one song, and I walked right out.
Yeah. There was the one that I was talking about with the lady on the bed in lingerie. I didn't actually get to see her because the line was long and they were taking in like groups of 4 at a time. And so if you're not VIP, if you're well known in Hollywood, then I'm sure they'll be like, oh yeah, come on in. But if you're like a regular person waiting in line to go into this bar, they take like 4 people at a time.
Yeah.
And like I was just like, dude, like, there's a great sushi place down the street. I'm going to go have some sake there and hang out. And like, I don't need to see like this. Like the theater doesn't impress me that much. Although you were talking about Disneyland. I love going to Disneyland.
Well, the theater's fine if there's something on the other end besides like vodka.
Besides
like, all right,
$18 cocktails or whatever.
Well, yeah, let's just listen. Disney, I'll pay.
If you're single and you want to impress your date, that might be a fun bar thing.
If you're under the age of 27 and you've yet to see the world.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm over 27 and I've seen a lot of the world. So I guess in my pretentious state, I ain't paying for your freaking crazy fancy bar. By the way, though, if anybody's listening to this and they want to go to Good Times at Davy Wayne's, like, hit me up.
Yeah.
So sure. That was good. All right,
go
sorry.
By. You can podcast. I'm sure they have a studio that also doubles as a bathroom.
No, they have a bar that's called Podcast, and it's the theme, and like you go in and people are podcasting.
Yeah, all they serve is a bunch of hot air. Get it,
folks?
That's a hot air. That's a really old term
for people talking, or what?
That's an old timey person saying somebody's full of shit. Yeah, he's full of hot air.
Hot air, because when you fart, when you have shit in your intestines and you fart, it's really steamy and hot. I know where they got it from.
Is that what that comes from?
I just made that up right now.
All right.
I'm a riffer.
Yeah,
I'm making stuff up, dude.
I don't know origins. I'm gonna believe you. People make stuff up. Anyways, all right. So the house,
yes.
So like one room, I want to be just this whole room looks like a jungle, and then I'm in this room. But every room, kind of like Minecraft, every room is 4 rooms away from a room with food or a bathroom. So
you're never far from like the important stuff.
You can't figure out. So it's like, all right. So I get into this house now. How we're building the house. Let's go back to that. How I get 3,000 rooms. And my girlfriend, super cool, loves all my crazy ideas. Thinks this is the dumbest thing she's ever heard.
That's great though. Why does she think it's dumb though? Because it's undoable.
I love it that she hates it. Well, first off, she's like, "How big rooms?" I'm like, first off, you can build up. It doesn't have to be just out. You know what I mean? I'm not like,
yep,
big.
Totally.
I'm like,
3,000 is only like 10 stories up with a few hundred per.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of land out there.
10 stories up with 300 rooms per story. So it's like totally doable.
You look at a globe, a lot of land.
That's one thing there. I'm pretty sure the green stuff, land.
A lot of land. And so yeah, man. So that's it. I would have people designing of all walks of life designing rooms.
Like while it's already built, they're still designing rooms?
Well, listen. No,
I wasn't sure if you were doing some sort of Synecdoche, New York kind of thing. Like, the house is never built. I'm going insane. Or you mean like you're going to have architects putting this together before
I get in there. Yeah.
How many do you think it'll take to do 3,000 rooms?
How long do I think? How many people?
I guess how long and how many people? Like, what's your?
I mean,
like
listen, to build that, that's like I watched them build, an 8-story building next to me, and it took 3 years.
Yep.
And I got to be honest, this is just this thing. This thing looks like the Borg live in it. It's square. It's boring.
Well, that's LA architecture. Like, we just don't have the rules that like New York has. We're just like, no, it looks like crap, and you got the lowest bidding designer. All right, your permits have been whatever you call it, approved, and then they build these disgusting buildings.
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
it's not, no offense if you're listening to this and you're an LA architect, you might be one of the good ones.
I used to do a bit about architects.
But LA architects and specifically, like, I remember when they built a building on the corner of La Brea and Wilshire. And I mean, this is like a hub of things going on right there. It's La Brea and Wilshire,
there's
right?
Chipotle's and
there's so much going on. The next big actor or actress lives in one of those buildings. Anyways, but dude, they built these buildings. And I remember when they were putting up, I was like, you could see the stucco and like there was no pride taken in the build. They did the lowest, and that's also LA's cap rates and whatever for if you're buying something to rent out is very crappy for what it costs for the actual land. Right. So it's understandable, but at the same time, it's like if you go into like certain cities, if you go into Beverly Hills, like they have some I think they have more strict rules for like what can get built there, and you'll see a building put up there, and you're like, it's freaking gorgeous.
I would do Beverly Hills is the shit.
It's just
I live
gorgeous
a street away from Beverly Hills.
Yeah, like the stone, the masonry is just gorgeous. Yeah, or if you go to New York, you'll be like, oh, look at the rules they have here. Or Jerusalem, they got freaking rules. Yeah. But you go to like mid city, just Los Angeles, and you're like, like anybody can just build a track home, a $10 billion track home.
Like that too.
Yeah.
Prague is like that, where when they build new, they have to make it look old.
That's funny.
It has to be approved. Yeah, everything has to fit. So even new stuff looks.
It needs to fit with the theme and have like
pretty sure. Guy just told me that, and I'm pretty sure he was talking about being from Prague. Good.
If you don't believe what people tell you, then you're a jerk. So you're a good guy, man. You listen to that guy.
Yeah, or you're gullible. So
well, gullible people are generally pretty nice, right? I'm pretty gullible. I'm a pretty friendly fella. What did you say your name was again?
I was trying to think of people who are gullible and jerks, and I was like, I don't know, like the people who like took out, carried out the Manson murders. There's a little bit of both, don't you think?
Listen, in the court of John, you won that case. I was wrong. My statement was wrong. A lot of gullible people are jerks.
Well, I'm just here trying to keep up with justice, like Brandon Lee and The Crow.
That's another poster, listeners.
Another movie poster. Another movie poster.
Another movie poster. Okay,
if you want the experience beforehand, hang these movie posters.
Shefsky here. Hey, you guys know I'm not just a fantasy real estate agent. I'm a really real real estate agent. That's right. In real life in Southern California, I am a realtor. So hit me up if you want to talk about houses, condos, multifamily apartment buildings. If you want to sell a house, buy a house, fantasyhousepodcast@gmail.com or on Instagram at JONSHEFSKY. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Real estate. It's really fun. All right, guys. Back to the show. So out of those 3,000 rooms, you're not going to be able to go over all of them. So just so you know,
not at all. I don't even know. That's the point. And what a cop out to this whole podcast's theme. But like, I wouldn't even want to know the rooms until I got there
because you want to be surprised.
Yeah, I love driving because if you just get in your car and you drive someplace you've never been, is there anything better? You get to like look around at shit, and if you're not driving some soulless car, you're having even more of a fun time.
Dude, that's why I love anything on trails: off-roading, snowboarding, hiking, mountain biking, regular biking. Just walking. I love trails because I love when you're like, what's around that bend over there? And you don't even think about it until you're there. And you're like, oh, look at this.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. Neat. Yeah.
I love that feeling. Yeah. So that's the feeling that we're going to feel inside your house.
Yes.
Okay.
I can't have guests though, because I wouldn't know where to greet them.
3,000 rooms. You can't have guests.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no.
Know how to greet them?
I can have guests. I just may not run into you.
That's very interesting. That'd be crazy to like bring my wife and my kids and be like, we're going to my friend's house and it's going to be great. And then like,
yeah, stay the weekend.
We didn't see him the whole weekend though. My wife's like, when do we get to meet your friend? They're like, I don't know. I've been trying to call him. I've been sending messages through the inner system we have here or whatever.
You might say, well, Andrew, you know how to get out if you just, leave some breadcrumbs or you draw a map as you're going through it. That'd be a fun idea if you drew a map. Now I have two feelings on that. One, I'd kind of like to just go in, not pay attention, just be going room to room. I don't remember what fucking room's back there. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
did I come in through the ceiling or the root, or the floor on that one? But if you were to draw a map, maybe I would like to drop a friend off who would be the type to draw a map. So halfway through, he could be like, I got this map, and I'd be like, interesting. I remember seeing that room. And they're like, well,
You're saying this about your own house?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that.
I remember seeing that room.
Dude, this is your house.
Yeah, I remember seeing that room. And oh wait, so you're telling me that you went through the medicine cabinet, and that was a tunnel into the room that was just all pillows. Cool. Because when I was in that room, I didn't go through the medicine cabinet. I went through the tub, and then the tub took me down a stepladder into a room that was just a giant pool. And then I had to swim underneath through a tunnel to get to this other room. There was just a bunch of parakeets. I'm sure
Parakeet room?
I'm sure somebody's keeping up with the parakeets. Animatronic parakeets. It's the tiki room.
Very cool.
Okay.
The tiki room in your... So wait, do you have... Okay,
I'm not bored, by the way, yet.
Good.
As much as the listeners are, I'm not bored at this house. I am thrilled. I'm like, cool. All right, we found some food. Let's just chill out here. It's like this time of day. Sunlight might be an issue, but I'm just in this house having fun.
Now, is there anywhere that you can count on in the house? Because you want all this adventure and all these, I guess, things to keep things fresh. But then, part of what the old saying was, like a man's house is his castle or whatever. A human's house is their castle is probably the new way to say it. But regardless, you when you're shutting out the outside world, when you're going home, do you have a master bedroom and a bathroom that you can just count on? Or
well, I guess that's the difference between this house and traditional use of a house.
Yeah.
Traditional use of a house is a place to sleep, live, enjoy your family.
This is not.
This is not. This is a sabbatical from the outside world.
This is your vacation home.
Imagine if back to a theme park. If a theme park just never ended.
Yeah. And I love that because I have this weird, and I'm sure there's a name for this kind of anxiety. I don't like the ends of things, which is ironic because I love butts. But no, I don't like the actual. I literally don't like at the end of the weekend. I don't like the end of movies, the end of seasons, the end of a day, the end of I'm always just I get this anxiety it's over, which leads me to wondering man, how am I going to handle my own death? But anyways, on a lighter note, I love the idea of this house goes on so far because. I get bummed. I went hiking the other day. I went mountain biking up in Big Bear. I'm not going to try to turn this whole thing into myself, by the way. I'm just trying to
please. I've been yapping for Go ahead.
Thank you for letting me be on your podcast, Andrew. But dude, I went mountain biking in Big Bear, and you get to the top of this peak, and you could see out these other valleys, and you could see another mountain range, and you could see the desert. And something about it gave me anxiety and depressed me because I knew that Big Bear ended. I like the supreme, giant feeling of being out somewhere.
Well, I like the corners. It's the corners of reality, especially when it's surreal stuff. So, if I was a kid and I was watching Wizard of Oz or some shit, I would always be like, "But what's over there?"
Oh, totally.
I want to be able to go over there. Now, I despise video games that allow you to walk anywhere like that. My girlfriend, she'll play Assassin's Creed, Witcher, all these games, these nerd games where you got to go over, you got to kill the goat because you have to bring the goat's hide over to this other guy who's going to give you the arrow that you're going to shoot. And I'm just I want to get some rings. I want to jump. I want to hit a trampoline, a spring. Mm-hmm. I want to shoot some stuff.
Yeah.
I don't care about this. But in terms of the real world, that's all I want is to not know what's next. Find that next corner. So if I'm in that room, I might get annoyed. This is me. I might go 4 rooms forward and then go, what was back there? What was back there in that room? What if I had gone the other way? And then just go through back there again.
Yeah, I feel the endless calculations would keep me being well, what happens if I went through the refrigerator and this happened, or I went through the bathtub and went down that ladder? What am I missing? The excitement of that escape room.
Dude.
What else was there?
Exactly.
Can I go through the computer monitor? Is there, I don't know. It just trips me out.
Yeah, just got to keep looking around. What else is in there?
So take us on, since your house is so trippy, which I friggin' love this. I have not had a house this just
don't want to know what's next.
What take us on? I guess improv an imaginary walk us through an episode of Fantasy House of me and the film crew. Hey, we're here to see your Fantasy House. Where are you going to take us? Even if you're surprised too. Just imagine. Just let it flow. Let it flow in.
I mean, like I said, just different things in different rooms. I don't want everything to be a puzzle. I want rooms to be fun too.
Okay.
The escape room thing is certainly something that I think could be too influential on something like this. You know what I mean? I guess at the end of the day, yeah, I'd be trying to escape. So going through the house, I mean, geez, I don't know. I mean, that's
just imagine one. Like you've played improv games. I know you've got this skill. Imagine that let's say we're starting. I'll give you this. We're starting in a room. It's 100 square feet, like the room we're in right now, right?
okay.
It's got a door on each end.
Yep.
One door on each side, right?
Yep.
And it's got a bunch of other objects that could also be entryways into things, right?
Sure.
We already used the refrigerator, so we're not going to use a refrigerator again. Mm-hmm. But let's just say there's an old bag of like hockey equipment in the corner.
Yep. Okay.
If we went through that bag and we're like, I zip the bag open and I look in and I'm like, oh, there's
so you see a bag
there's
and
a slide.
And then
like,
okay, so
where's
now
the
you're
slide
going
take us?
through. So now you're going through, and you're going through a carpeted tunnel.
Okay.
A carpeted tunnel.
Yeah.
That's weird, right?
Yeah, dude.
We have this thing as kids. We're on the ground. You have this thing where carpet's like comfortable. Now imagine this carpet all around you.
I do like that. What color's the carpet?
Oh, it's brown.
Brown carpet. Okay.
Yeah, it's brown carpet.
Brown
It's
carpet
clean.
tunnel.
It's
So you're
clean. Everything's clean in this
Going
house.
through like a Muppet colon. Go on. Okay.
Absolutely, Rolf. And
Yep.
and so yeah, so just you crawling through that. You might go as you're crawling. There might be a little cutout, and you look into this thing, and there's just like one, you know, when you're at the museum and it's not quite a screen, but it's they bounce a reflection, so it's almost 3D or
Yeah.
some shit.
Oh, yeah. I love
So
stuff
you
like that.
you look into this thing. Maybe you slide a thing and you just see like aliens zooming by on little speeders or whatever, and then you look on the other side and like a dinosaur looks at, oh my god, this tunnel that has these little things, and you keep going forward. You might hear some birds, and then you're like, oh my god, I hear birds, and then you realize there's a zipper. This is the only place that has a zipper, and then you zip the carpet, and then you come out and you hear birds, and you're thinking, oh, it's like a nature scene. But maybe it's not a nature scene. Maybe it's just a concrete block. And you're like, there's literally no door here. But you also know that everything has doors. But you're like, fuck
this
it, I don't
isn't a scary house that's not going to let you out. You're like, like there's the warmth that like there's an exit in this room.
Well, it's the not you're not gonna let you out. It's just like you're not gonna need to leave because you're always gonna be able to get to the next room. But that concrete room, maybe you can't find the door, so then you keep going, and then like 3 weeks later, you're like, where was the exit out of that concrete door? Did I have to kill the bird? Like what was going on?
It's the dark part of your house. Like, oh, you might have to kill a bird to leave
I don't
a
know.
room.
You know what happened was I got to the zipper part, and then I like thought of the room, and I was just like, I keep going with like jungle theme pillow rooms. It's just like I need. That's why I just need other people's minds.
Yeah, you need 30,000 rooms. You need several other people to come up with some of these rooms. Well, how about this? What can we go to? Like is there like a bathroom that we can go to?
There's a bathroom every so there's a bathroom like every like 10 rooms, maybe 5 rooms.
Can you take me to a weird bathroom? Like I know myself and my listeners would love to go to a weird bathroom.
Weird bathroom?
Yeah, dude. Like how do we go? What is it here? I got to do number 2. How am I going to do this? I want to bathe. What?
Dude, there's like so many. You could have said like, how do you make a weird grilled cheese? But we got to talk about how you're gonna.
I'm hoping that I do that while I'm in
drop
the bathroom,
a deuce
which is
into
odd.
a river that happens to be in a house.
A river dump? You've got a river dump? Nice.
That's what it is. It's running water. You got to sit over the running water.
That's kind of cool. It's
Yep.
old-fashioned.
And there's birds chirping. There's always birds. A lot
Oh,
of birds.
I love
A lot
that.
of dead or thriving or fake birds in this place. But yeah, that's what it is. You get a nice calming theme, running water, and for extra, it's running water and it's nature, and you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. But for extra security, right next to you, there's a button you can push that you just get to hear the sound of doors locking. It's just
so you still feel like I'm totally secure.
Yeah. It's just extra. You already know you're secure. That's just added. Like, oh, the doors are locked.
How tall is the ceiling? So like if I'm feeling like I'm in a
Every
nature
room
scene.
is different, my friend.
So if I'm in a nature room, like let's say I'm sitting on the end of a log, dropping a log into a moving river, right?
It can be a very narrow room with a very high ceiling.
And yeah, so it does feel like
Yeah.
I look up, I'm
Next
like, I
thing
see
you
the
got
blue
to do is
sky.
you got to climb up. You got to climb up this very narrow room, and on the way up, you see hallways, 7 hallways
Oh, wow.
tunnels that you can crawl into.
Let's crawl into one.
3 of them are one color carpet, and like 2 of them are another, and it's like why are some the same? Are the orange are the bright orange carpeted rooms? That's ugly as shit. I'd be so
Whatever.
mad. I'd write a note. Guy, never let this guy design another tunnel.
But sir, I made your moving river toilet.
Yeah. So it's hilarious. All right, you could stay.
Just don't ever use orange carpet again. Yes, sir.
But yeah, like you don't know. Like, oh, do all the orange ones lead to
Yeah.
Warm climate rooms? I mean, that's really it, man. It's just like, what new shit can you give me? You know?
Is there a kitchen in here so I can make something to eat real quick?
Absolutely, my friend.
Just give me a tour of the kitchen before.
Absolutely. There's a room that's there's a fishing room. There's a room that's that you can go fishing. We'll have sustainable fish.
Thankfully, someone's finally fixing that problem, huh? There's no corporate fishing in here. It's all sustainable.
All of this would then take us to the outside, right? Eventually, after I've gone through it, maybe I can again. You can go through again. Maybe I exit the house a little sooner than I wanted to, and I'm annoyed, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, God, I'm like, I had to take that left. So let's talk about the grounds of the house.
Yep.
The grounds of the house would need to be similar to the house itself in the sense that there have to be a lot of turns. Now, one of my favorite people who's ever roamed the earth, George Harrison, had a beautiful yard. Friar Park was his house, what the estate was called. And, he had rolling hills and he loved gardening, right?
Yeah.
So it was, one day walk out there and say, what if this rock was over there, and split this water in two. You know what I mean? Just stuff like that.
He would do that as a gardener? He would just
be out there. Yeah, they'd be there with a little tiny bulldozer moving trees and rocks and
He was like the creator in his domain of like his own
he
little
liked
mini-
just the way it moved, and I think that back to like the Disneyland, the childhood thing. I think sight lines, highs and lows, going over a hill, not knowing what's on the other side, but then it being another hill. You know what I mean?
Yep.
A bigger hill, smaller hill, something completely different.
I love that.
Stuff like that. So the house, the grounds, I would want to be that too. I would want this whole house to be fairly sunken, as is the Disney. And so that, your line of sight were, just, again, go over a little bridge, go down, like mini golf,
It definitely has like a wonderful world of I would say friendly adventure is how I'm picturing it in my head, where it's like the stakes are not necessarily high.
It's like Fraggle Rock.
Dude, great example. Great example.
I'd like to recommend.
Here in Themeles Rock. Cha-cha.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Stuck here for 30 days. Cannot find my way out of the house, but you know what? Pretty fun overall. I took a dump in a river. Cha-cha. That's a toilet.
Yeah, man. I want a room with a studio and a booth, and you're just in there constant. Every time I go into that room, you're recording the theme song to the house.
That sounds like a prison for me. You're like, don't you come out of there.
No, it's animatronic.
Okay, that's cool.
You signed the rights. But can I recommend a documentary?
Yeah, of course. Can you?
It's
please.
free. It's online. You don't even have to get Netflix or anything or whatever. It's called. The channel is Defunctland, and this dude makes short or documentaries on theme parks.
Yeah.
So theme parks that are no longer existent, parts of like current theme parks that are no longer there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of Disney, a lot of talk about Michael Eisner, but he has a series on Jim Henson, and he starts with Jim Henson's early BBC show to Sesame Street. I had no idea the Fraggles were so meta. I didn't realize there was so much representation in the frag. Yeah, you're looking at me like you're so
I grew up
interested.
on Fraggle.
I know, dude. I didn't know it went so deep. It's huge.
It still trips me out that Sesame Street and Muppets, like any of that stuff, was connected. Like, yeah. But,
dude, the backstory to Fraggle Rock. I guess the pilot episode. There's this like explorer Fraggle. Dude, it's mind blowing. But you have to watch this documentary, and by the end, I mean,
okay. So what is it?
you'd think somebody was
Defunctland?
chopping onions. In fact, I left that comment on the last video, and it's like the third comment, and I've left like 3 YouTube comments in my life.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, is somebody cutting onions in here? And fucking everybody.
Dude, I gotta see.
Yeah, but he does, and he just did another one on the World Fair. Let's not talk about me. Let's talk about Kevin Perjurer's Defunctland.
Defunctland. Oh, check it out. It's
a good one though.
Where can people find you? Where do you want people to look you up?
Oh man, you want to follow me on Instagram?
Is that where you want people?
No, I post like 4 times a year. You know me, man.
You have stories on there that are still worth watching, dude. You might not post solid.
Dude, I would
posts,
never
you post
ask
good
anybody
stories.
to follow me anywhere.
Well, that is such a great plug for yourself.
I know, dude. I am the plugless.
But you're the captain. We have to follow you. It's a pleasure too.
I appreciate that. I don't know. I mean, I'm on Twitter at Themeles.
There you go. Hit up Andrew on Twitter. Follow
You
him
had a question about my house? I don't have the answer. Talk to the architects.
That's beauty. That's beauty. Talk to the architects. That's your catchphrase. Talk to the architects. Dude, your house is such a trip.
I feel like people have probably had like really better put together answers and ideas.
They've been different. My favorite is the novel differences in the houses. So some people have super square houses that are just like very realistic and just like pretty much just mansions that are unaffordable. And some people have super surreal. Yours is one of the surreal ones. And some people have surreal ones that are very similar to others. You know, a lot of people are like, I want an island. It's just very common, right? I want an island, or I want a fish tank room. Common stuff. Yours, like this is the first for me to have
to
this
not
house.
have an actual answer, and that's the mystique. No, I'm just kidding.
And just
I know what you mean.
Like 3,000. I mean, like, dude, I love it. Like that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that gets me when we're recording, and which is why we don't plan any of this stuff out, and I don't have you tell me like about the house beforehand, because I like being surprised. That was my favorite thing about the old crime podcast. Is like, Rich, my partner, would write this true crime story, and like he would not tell. It would be a secret. Yep. He would tell other people because they would tell someone would be like, "Oh, dude, that story that Rich is working on." Blah blah. I'd be like, "Don't even tell me. I'm not allowed to know."
Yep.
And it feels the same for fantasy. I was like, I don't want to know until you're actually telling me, because I want that childlike feeling of like, "Whoa, cool," which is what I get. So I guess that's why I do this podcast, because I get to just feel like a kid for a few minutes while we record. And yeah, you brought that, so I love that. I appreciate
Speaking
that.
of islands, I have always wanted to live on an island.
You have another fantasy house?
No, I mean, it's but the island, that's a good one. I think a lot of people don't consider certain things. By the way, I've looked into islands. There's a website with island real estate. You can buy a decent island for $750,000.
Yeah, they're actually affordable.
And everything that you do with that island is up to you. Plumbing and security. Because that's what I was thinking.
Security.
You need
fighting
guns.
off pirates.
Yeah. The machine gunners will be located right here.
I don't.
Wayne's World 2.
Dude, I don't. He what is it? He bludgeoned him with his own shoe.
Yeah. I had to beat them to death with their own shoes.
The security aspect of an island is the biggest turnoff for me. I was like, so I'd have to have security going all the time? All right. All the other benefits, not worth it. I don't want to have to deal with.
I kind of just think basic security sensors.
I don't know if it's that simple, dude. Modern day pirates?
Gun. Yeah.
Modern day pirates are like armed to the teeth and like they're nutty. And I think
now if we're talking fantasy.
Oh yeah, I forgot we're in fantasy. Thanks for reminding me.
If I'm on an island, I mean, I'm John McAfee in this thing. I'm fully outfitted with guns and
John McAfee.
Yeah, you know who John McAfee is?
Wait, am I thinking of the security man for the computer stuff?
Yeah. But he's actually on the run, and he has an island.
Is he still on the run?
That's real. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I
think he's on the run. He's doing videos. He's doing videos on Twitter.
Dude, modern day technology people will be on the lam from the actual governments, but they're like, I'm still posting shit.
John McAfee believes that Bitcoin will be worth, his latest prediction is $2 million by the end of next year. It's currently, if you want to buy
like
one
9,500 right now.
Yep. As of this morning, it was 9,200.
Both you and I. Another Bitcoiner. Yeah, just looking at the score.
But yeah.
Well, if it's worth a couple million, that'd be super sweet, and hopefully we're all here and happy to enjoy the wealth of that.
Let's do it.
So, dude, thank you
so much for having me.
So much fun.
Appreciate it.
Dude, great time. # blessed guest. Guys, if this is your first time listening, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give us a review, maybe even 5-star. What do you think? Also, if you've been listening for a while, thank you so much for supporting. If you haven't given us a review, please go ahead and also, click that share button and send this to somebody special. Be like, hey, check out Fantasy House. This is my gift to you. All right, guys, go forth and have a freaking great day.